let's get to the Los Angeles Lakers. They are in the middle of a 4-game road trip. Last night, they were in Detroit against the Pistons, who entered the night on a 14-game losing streak. D'Angelo Russell finds Anthony Davis. Davis had 28 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks in this one. The Lakers up now. LeBron James throwing it down there. Lakers up 65-48 at half. But then halfway through the third quarter here, watch LeBron James. He gets caught up a little bit here. He gets in front of Isaiah Stewart. He was hoping for it looked like a charge call there. Instead, though, he's going to receive a technical for flopping.
They have some history, remember, Isaiah Stewart and LeBron James. Some bloody history, actually.
Yes, they do. He did his best to sell that call, but didn't quite get his way on that one. And then, under 5 minutes left here, though, LeBron James, year 21. I feel like we need to keep reminding people this is insane what he's doing.
It defies logic. It defies biomechanics. It defies a lot of things what LeBron is doing. But look, the bottom line with this game is if you're sick, you want the Pistons. They're like an antibiotic if you're having some problems. And so now this is how you get better. The Lakers needed this.
D'Angelo Russell didn't have many problems. 35 points, 13 of 17 from the field, 9 assists. Lakers win. Here's LeBron James.
We have to improve a lot. We're only 19 games in, so, we have to continue to improve no matter what. We're not even probably 19, 38, 38, 76, so we're not even a fourth way through the season yet. So we got a lot more room to improve.
So the trio of LeBron, Anthony Davis, D'Angelo Russell, they made some Lakers history. For the second time this season, they all went for over 25 points. It's the first time that any Lakers trio has gone for more than 25 multiple times in a season since Magic, Worthy, and Byron Scott. That was in 1988-89. So obviously the Lakers, they can't necessarily always rely on this sort of consistency from D'Angelo Russell. We just haven't seen that yet this year. But Brian, do you think the Lakers are going to be able to maybe string something together here where it feels like they can at least play at this level on a regular basis?
Well, that's the big test. I mean, I almost would argue that the most important thing that happened in this game was they were able to rest their starters because they've got the quick turnaround back-to-back tonight in Oklahoma City. And if you want to do something with this Lakers group, you got to put together wins like this. You got to go into Oklahoma City and win a game. Now, they got the in-season tournament next week, and that's like their shining star. They were like awesome. They were the best in-season tournament team in group play. But they've also dropped some games that are inexplicable. And there's your Los Angeles Lakers. Inconsistency squared. And look, D'Angelo Russell was awesome last night, but throughout his entire career, he's been inconsistent. Let's see him shoot that kind of way again tonight in Oklahoma City against a much stiffer test. That's really the thing about this Lakers, and that's what LeBron is saying there. He's saying, we don't know what we are yet. We still got to prove that.
Man, it must be nice to be the Lakers. You beat the Pistons, who've lost 15 games in a row, and you get a whole segment on national TV because you went into Detroit and beat the Pistons? Well done, Lakers. Look, I like this team. I think they're better than their record. They're 11-8. I think they're better than their record. There's a toughness and a competitiveness that I like about them. It's always going to come down to offense. They're 24th in offensive efficiency. That's just not good enough. They were a bad offense last year, and they won despite that, and they hit about the limit that they could get with the bad offense. So every night, I want the process to be right. I'm going to check the results. 24th isn't good enough. Getting healthy against the Pistons does nothing for me, but a win's a win. Let's see it going forward.
I just think they're a team that's going to have a rocky road in the regular season because what they're thinking about is different than these regular season games, right, against most teams in the league. If they dig themselves holes, they're going to have a hard time digging out a lot of nights to find that. Where are you going to find that grind?
Yep.
Because you're thinking about something much bigger later in the year if you're LeBron James, Anthony Davis. So regular season, you're going to have some nights, not necessarily 44-point losses like against Philly, where that embarrassing, but you're going to have nights where you play some young legs and they get up and down the floor, and you're just not going to be able to match that firepower. But in the slower games, the physical games, I think that's when they, to Zach's point, that's when they remind you they still do have these presences, right, that can win any matchup any single night. And I like the additions they made in the offseason as well. They're a lot like the Clippers in that. Talk to me about them in March. Let's see where they are in March.
All that said about the Lakers, and I just said I like the Lakers. I think they're better than their record. Yeah. We keep saying this about the Lakers and the Clippers. Well, talk to us in May, June, April, these springtime months when the weather is nice. The Lakers are 11-8, and the Clippers are 8-9. The West affords you nothing, no margin for error. Like, it's cool to say, let's talk to us in April, May, and June. Minnesota looks like they're going to play. Denver, Dallas, Oklahoma City. There's a lot of teams. We can't just pencil in these guys for playoff, home games or something. That's all.
Well, I keep hearing the word like when it comes down to the Lakers. We all like the Lakers, but what's going to make us love the Lakers and say, you know what, they can actually compete with the Denver Nuggets in the 7-game series and not get swept, right? And the thing is this. We look at D'Angelo Russell and you look at Anthony Davis last night, two totally, completely different players from what we saw in the Philadelphia 76ers game. So why I say that is that, yes, D-Lo, you could go out there and drop 30-plus on the lottery team, but what are you going to do when it's time for you to elevate your game against a contender? The same thing with Anthony Davis, right? We know what you're going to bring on a night-to-night basis now on the defensive side. We know that you're going to pull down 11 to 15 rebounds a game. We know that you're going to get close to 3 blocked shots. Offensively, how much of a threat are you going to be? When you go against Jokic or you go against Sabonis, or you going to be running the floor like you did last night, deep stealing in the paint, demanding, asking for the ball, shooting the jump hook? Like, those are the things that when LeBron said we have room to improve, that's what he's talking about. Again, he didn't walk into Detroit last night, Malika, saying, oh, okay, yeah, we get this win tonight. It's going to show great steps. It's going to show improvement for us moving forward. No, LeBron want to see, when we go against them heavy hitters, how are these guys going to act?
It's that word on the bottom of your screen: consistency, reliability. You can't lose by 44 and then win by 26, because it leaves people going, okay, what is this Lakers team? Because at their best, maybe that's just against the Pistons when they're playing Philadelphia. Is that the real Lakers? We don't know yet. And in the West, you just don't have that much time to find out. Tim Legler, what did you see from Zion?
Well, look, we know that this guy is special. He's unique. He's a one-off. And here's some of the reasons why. We know they've got Brandon Ingram, C.J. McCollum. He's got talent around him. But what differentiates the Pelicans is Zion Williamson. And there's a couple of things he did in this one that really stood out to me. Here's the first one. Zion, he wants to get left. And you can see defensively, they're trying to line up and shading him on this side, because you're just hoping you can force him into here, where, as you can see, there's all kinds of traffic. I mean, this is about as walled up as you're going to get. But somehow, some way, Zion Williamson always finds a way to get to his left hand. And that's exactly what he's going to do here. But what happens at the end of this is what I want to show you, because this is different for Zion. This is special. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this might be the best pass Zion Williamson's ever thrown in his life. And I'm talking about, this is Luka stuff, this is LeBron stuff, this is LaMelo Ball. There's very few guys that can make this pass. Jump in the air, 2 hands as a shot blocker at the rim. Zion, the easy play probably would have been a kick out to this wing, but instead he's going to wrap it around the defender, and look where he hits C.J. McCollum. This is dead in his chest. Perfect delivery, making them pay for loading up 5 guys in the rim. And then it's the quickness for a guy this size and how he takes advantage of improper positioning. You can see right now, they got this defended pretty good at the start of this. You got traffic over here to guard the ball screen. It's the third defender, the guy guarding Zion, looking at the weak side of the floor, because he thinks, Zion is not going to shoot the ball from out here. He's not a threat. If it gets swung, I have time to recover. This is where he's different. Zion's going to catch this basketball. When it gets reversed, ball gets swung. Watch how quickly he's one step and he's at the rim before you can get any help, any sort of rotation. And he knows there's one thing on the backside most guys aren't willing to do. And in this case, it's Tyrese Maxey. Are you going to lay out and take 300 pounds in your chest and draw this charge? No, probably not. He's going to stunt and get back, and that gives Zion Williamson this alley to the lane, and now you got an and one. He gets in these little gaps with his speed and his strength. It's so different. It's so unique. And now that C.J. McCollum's back, let's see if the New Orleans Pelicans can start to climb that chart in the Western Conference.
Right, because currently they sit at 8th in the Western Conference, a record of 10-9. But what we're seeing from Zion is so encouraging. I guess, Zach, he was built up so much leading into his draft and in the time since, and obviously injuries and other things have kept him from living up to that potential. Do you think with the play that we're seeing now, there is still that possibility that this impossible hype, and I don't love that term, it's really nebulous, but can he live up to that?
When he plays, he's an all-NBA player, period. That's the only issue, is he hasn't played. Now he's playing, and this, to me, is the single most intriguing team in the West in terms of, like, those teams in the middle of the standings where you just don't know what you got. I think they have done fantastic work to be 10-9, given half their team is always injured. Zion is playing great, playing better every night. CJ's back. Trey Murphy's coming back. Our Woj just reported that. This team is all of a sudden going to have way more shooting around Zion with CJ and Trey Murphy III, way more depth, lots of lineups they can go to. This is a sleeping giant in the Western Conference, potentially. A really good team is in here somewhere,
right,
if they can stay healthy.
They were at the top of the West essentially through early January of last season. That's when Zion Williamson got hurt. Where do you fall on this, Perk?
I mean, it's simple for me. He's playing with such joy, great joy. He's having fun. When was the last time we witnessed Zion Williamson actually have fun on the floor? I see him high-fiving. I see him smiling. I see him playing with emotions. It seems to me that all the off-court distractions are gone, and he's actually doing what he's supposed to do and use his brothers that are on the floor with him along with the game of basketball as his sanctuary. And if you could get this version of Zion, a guy that you could put on at any position on the floor, meaning in his spots. I love how Willie Green uses it. You can't figure him out. If you want him to play the dunker spot, he could do that. If you want to put him at the elbow action, he could do that. Whatever you want him to do, he could do it. But it's just the joy for me, watching him play with that passion, that positive emotions.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA over here, feeling fun.